Welcome to the UglyMugsPodcast. I'm your host, Quincey.
And your other host, Justin.
So let's start with what we got in the mugs today. I'm doing the Italian roast by Starbucks. Got a whole bean, grounded up. It's a dark roast. I like it, but I find that I'm doing 12 cups of grounds, and it's coming out light and kind of weak. I have to do a lot more grounds with this one. I have my sugar, I have my creamer to it, but even with it black, I'd try it, and I'm like, that's not really a dark roast coffee to me. I don't know if I got a bag or what. What do you got over there?
I've got a peppermint tea.
I suggested the peppermint tea.
It's so strong. It smells so strong. Here we go. First sip.
Dun, dun.
That's actually really good.
Okay.
That's actually really fucking good. I only did 1 spoon of sugar.
It's kind of a sweet tea as is.
Yeah. I was expecting it to be real choppy, though.
Well, what I think about that tea
coats
is
the throat.
Fun for you is we're in Vegas, and we're finally getting some real winter weather here.
It snowed.
It snowed, which, yeah, I know, other parts of the country got some serious snow, but to us, this is interesting, and it's kind of cold, so I thought the peppermint would have been a nice one for a cold day like today.
Yeah,
in fact, in our recording room, it is pretty nippy in here.
Yeah.
We got the heater on, and it's not doing much.
It is not. So this warm stuff is actually going to help us out.
But let's kick off the podcast by saying happy 33rd anniversary Legend of Zelda.
OG Legend of Zelda. It's older than I am, and I'm surprised. Well, not too surprised, of course, but surprised that it is 33 years old.
My first experience with it was when they did like a re-release for I think that was the Game Boy Advance or something like that. Because for me, my Legend of Zelda first experience was Ocarina of Time on the N64.
Mine was indeed the first OG, but we never got too far in it. We maybe third, fourth dungeon, and just left it at that because the maps were it was very confusing because you had to find secrets and all that. And
they don't hold your hand in those games by any means.
No, even in Ocarina of Time, they really didn't. They just had the owl say, "Hey, head here." Where is it? I don't know.
You skip through his thing and accidentally start him over again.
Yeah.
I kind of went backwards. So I did Ocarina of Time, and then I did Link to the Past. I think that was the one it was called. The one that was on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
Which actually, I really love that one because that one kind of allowed you to just kind of roam the world and do whatever you wanted. So did Ocarina of Time, but I felt like you encountered more. As for Ocarina of Time, if it was daylight, you were kind of just riding around on Epona.
And enjoying the day.
Yeah. At night, it was brutal. I mean, running this stuff all the time.
They're also doing a redux to Link's Awakening.
Yeah, I saw that, and I'm very excited.
It looks bubbly. I love it. But
I'm down for these reduxes, remakes, reboots, whatever you want to call them, of these video games, like what we had with Resident Evil 2. It was great. Give me more of that. Like, the games that are older and need it. I don't need a remake of Gears of War 1.
Yeah, no, they did that, though.
Did they?
Yes.
No, I don't know. I don't pay attention. Was it an HD or was it a remake?
It was texture upbringing, so it was an HD.
Okay, yeah. See, HDs are different. You can do an HD on a game like that. That's fine. But if you're gonna rebuild it from the ground up, like they did Resident Evil 2, like they are with
more of that
Legend,
big that.
Don't do that on newer stuff. Do that on the old, do that on stuff that came out on the NES, the Super NES, the PlayStation, things like that.
Give me Donkey Kong 64 brought up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's. Could you imagine doing some kind of like bongo drum thing with the Switch things? I'm sure there's something.
I'm sure Taiko has something. Taiko drums got something.
I mean, we don't need to buy another. They did those bongo drum sets for what was it? Was that the Wii U that they did those bongo drums for? Or was that the Wii?
I think it was Wii.
No one wanted them. Did you go into any GameStop and there's one wrapped up in a plastic bag in the corner, just looking like, please buy me?
Yeah, and a person plays Dark Souls only using those bongo drums.
Is that really?
Yeah.
There's
a person plays Dark Souls using potatoes.
I think I've seen that one. Does all the wiring for it. I think I've seen that one.
Yeah.
There's some interesting videos that there were people who've done the custom controllers like that.
Yeah. It only takes an imaginative engineer just to put it all together.
Yeah, I want to see more imaginative engineers doing things that are creative like that, but do something that I don't have to worry about it spoiling while it's sitting in my house. I mean,
I don't know how long a shelf life is for a potato anymore.
Yeah, especially once you cut it up, it's gonna start going. But while we're talking about reboots, reduxes, remakes, things like that, CW, I think it was, is launching a pilot for remaking The Lost Boys. It will be a remake of the first movie.
You're eating maggots, Michael.
Tyler Posey will be playing Michael, which I got nothing against him. I didn't watch Teen Wolf, but I hear he's a good guy. Where it got weird for me is the director of Twilight will be coming in to direct the show.
Sparkle vampires.
And like I had mentioned to you, that movie was very 80s, and there was a bit of sparkle in the blood and stuff like that. And
it was glam rock at the time.
Yeah, it was a very glam rock type of movie. But I feel like we're in this weird point right now where someone makes something, and they go, "Oh, you did that and made money with it? That's what you're going to do now." It's like a new form of typecasting for directors.
And that needs to kind of lean back, but at the same time, it's like, keep doing it, but do it well. Don't try and take everything from the source material. Take the hints.
I'm not going to argue whether or not Twilight was vampires. I don't want to get into that argument. The only thing I'm going to say is she did a movie that had what they called vampires. And now she's doing a vampire TV show. And it's like, okay, I'm assuming that's one of the reasons she was hired. The other reason is she is a good director. Say what you will about those movies. They were well directed.
They were.
If you want to be mad at them, be mad at the source material.
No, I can't. Because they are bestsellers. Like, I can't be mad at what sold good.
So is 50 Shades of Grey.
Still sold good. Can't be mad at it.
So is Art of the Deal.
Still can't be mad at it. Like, so did American Psycho. Like, you want to go?
All jokes aside, no, I get it. If you put something together and take the time and work to put it in, and it becomes a bestseller, good on you. You did what a lot of us wish we could do. But like I said, her doing a vampire thing, and now she's doing another vampire thing. I want to believe they hired her because she's, knows what she's doing. She's a good director. She knows how to work with actors, not because, well, you have a correlation between vampires. Kind of what's going on with the Jordan Peele thing right now, where he's doing all this horror stuff. And not that I want him to stop. Keep doing it. If you're doing well, do well. But he did one movie, and suddenly it was, he's the master of horror. We're going to get him do another horror movie. We're going to give him Twilight Zone. And it looks like this other horror movie is going to be good. Twilight Zone's looking like it's going to be amazing. A new trailer dropped. It's looking great. I'm just saying, eventually you're going to do this with someone, and it's not going to work. Someone's going to do some kind of movie. It's going to be a success, and you're going to want them to replicate that. It's not going to happen. I'm just wondering where it's going to land. Is it going to be the Lost Boys remake? And that's the other thing. Stop remaking things that don't need to be remade. I don't think Lost Boys needs a remake.
I don't think so either.
There's certain things I can see remaking. I was fine when they remade King Kong.
If they did a continuation of Lost Boys, I might have been a little more like, because there wasn't really much of an open ending for it, but at the same time, it didn't exactly.
Yeah, even when you get into the sequels that Feldman did, Corey Feldman.
Yeah.
Even when you get into the sequels he did, I mean, it's not over.
No, but I'm just saying, like, replace the sequels with the TV show.
Yeah, like
give it a reimagining. But this is gonna replace the entire thing. Yeah,
it's a remake. Like they're saying it is a remake of the movie. The other thing that I thought was weird that CW decided to remake was Charmed.
Neutral.
So I watched Charmed a decent amount growing up. It was a big thing in my household between my aunt and my mom. I've never watched the entire series, but when they started telling us what the remake was going to be, I was like, this is a different show.
Yeah.
The main thing is that they're the Charmed ones and they're sisters. That's the only connection. I was like, instead of calling it a remake, just call it a continuation. Call it a new story in the same universe. Like, it doesn't need to be a remake. Stop thinking you need to remake everything. Sometimes it's okay to make a sequel.
Or sometimes it's just good to do new.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, new is always better.
Well,
okay, that's not always true. But it can be. New definitely can be better. One of the weird remakes I thought was Anita was Footloose. Why do we need a modern day Footloose? Like,
okay, I just made a face. This is happening?
No, it already did. This is years ago. They remade it.
Oh.
Yeah, it was a movie. They remade it years ago. Basically, it was the exact same story, but with today's cars, today's music, and today's iPods. I mean, especially considering
Kevin
Footloose
Bacon?
was... No Kevin Bacon.
No cameo from Kevin Bacon?
I don't even think he did a cameo, no. That's the other thing. I mean, Kevin's still going strong, guys. Why are you remaking this stuff? Oh, Kevin's amazing.
Like, you play 6 Degrees to Kevin, and you're like, holy shit, he's connected to a lot of fucking things, whether we like it or not.
Let's go on a little bit of a tangent here. I follow Kevin on Twitter.
Yeah.
His photo on Twitter is when Roger from American Dad dressed up as Kevin Bacon. That's how awesome Kevin Bacon is. He acknowledged what McFarlane did.
Kevin seems like a guy that would be really cool just to hang out with one day.
He tried getting a Tremors TV show made. Sci-Fi passed on the pilot, and I think they decided he couldn't take it somewhere else. So that was recent. That was within the last year.
Wow.
Yeah. He had another show, The Following. Did you watch that at all?
Mm-mm.
Oh, really good.
Following, okay.
It's a horror television show. It got about 3 seasons, I think, before getting canceled. I suggest it. It follows a FBI agent as he begins to deal with the killer he put away, escapes to go killing again, and has developed a cult following. I mean, kind of on the nose of the name.
Yeah.
But it's good. Like, it was one of the first shows that we sat down and watched and went, this is dark for television.
I mean, there was a lot of pretty good dark for television TV shows. Like, if you look back, the Batman animated series was
definitely
pretty
had its
fucking
moments,
dark for Saturday morning.
Okay, I'm going to give a spoiler here for anyone that hasn't seen Following. Been out for a few years, but I highly suggest you go and watch it. And Justin, a bit of a spoiling for you. There's a girl in, I think, the first episode who disrobes herself. You don't see anything, but you can tell she's now naked. She's standing in public naked. And she's got writing all over herself, showing that she's connected to him. And then she proceeds to gouge her eyes out. I was like, I'm watching this on cable. Like, and this isn't even HBO. Like, this is low number cable television.
Neat.
So I was like, all right, this is, a step in a new direction, I feel.
Speaking of stepping on your own toes, Jessica Jones and Punisher confirmed canceled.
Yeah.
John Berthenol put on Twitter, he put a really good picture of a good comic snippet of Frank and said, it was an honor working as the Punisher, gave his 2 cents. And I'm like, it didn't need to go like that. Like, it just dropped and then all of a sudden immediately gets canceled after that. I don't know what happened. I honestly, at this point, I don't care what happened between Netflix and Disney, just so long as I can get something later on that involves what I like.
Yeah.
Because
now, you're not alone in this upset. First of all, I'm upset. In fact, we're both supporting Punisher gear right now.
Yes.
I'm supporting my Punisher Loot Crate beanie that you flip it and it's Daredevil. And you're supporting your Punisher jacket.
My Akajo windbreaker. No, my Letterman jacket that has the Punisher insignia on the chest.
But someone else who's a little upset about this is Eminem, Marshall Mathers, took to Twitter to say, "Dear Netflix, regarding your cancellation of The Punisher, you're blowing it. Sincerely, Marshall."
That's it, and in big bold capital letters.
Yeah, exclamation points and everything. I don't feel like I've ever seen him actually talk about what he likes. Now, I don't follow the man's career super close, but when was the last time we heard him be like, "Oh, this is a TV show I like or a movie I like"?
He's a huge nerd.
I assume he is with some of the stuff he's talked about in his music.
Yeah, I mean, he's a brilliant songwriter. He's an over adequate rapper. I mean, I'm sure we've listened to a couple of his songs and know most of the words to some of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then it comes down to, but what's he like outside that? And then all of a sudden, for those who haven't really followed too much of him, and then you see, "Dear Netflix, Punisher, why go?"
Yeah.
Sign Marshall.
When you get him to speak out about this, I mean, I think you kind of have to go, "Oh crap, did we do the right thing?
Yeah.
Did we? I mean, these shows were making money just from the marketing. I mean, proven by the beanie I'm wearing.
Yeah.
Proven by the statue you own.
Yes.
Proven by the fact that I want to own the DVDs and I pay for Netflix and can watch them whenever I want.
Yeah.
There's Pops that I own. I own the Defenders set Pops.
Yeah. I also own all except for Jessica.
See, I have Jessica.
Oh, fuck her.
She was at Barnes & Noble.
Oh, it was an exclusive?
I don't know if she was an exclusive, but that's where I found her. I found her at Barnes & Noble.
Okay.
I actually found most of them at Barnes & Noble. I think the Punisher was the one I didn't find. I think I had to get him at Walgreens.
Yep, he was an exclusive.
But and I'm upset to see it go. But I know that no matter how much we fight, Netflix isn't gonna do anything. They're done. They're doing their own comic book stuff now with Jupiter. And
I want the continuation of Punisher. I don't care who plays him. I want John. John's doing a pretty good job of Mr. Yelly, "I'm gonna go kill you, man." But I just want more Punisher. I don't know where it's going to go. Don't care where it's going to go. If it goes to Hulu like we're hearing, let it stick to Hulu.
You know what I really wanted from all this was to not be treated like a child and be given an explanation by either Disney or Netflix. One or the other. Just come out and say what's going on. Be honest with me. I'm an adult. I can take it. But don't do that whole, we're gonna whisper behind your back and then just be like, "Oh, we're
It's-
not doing this, honey. Sorry."
It's canceled.
Yeah, like, talk to me. I pay for your service. I buy your merchandise. I watch your shows. Like, what the hell? Yeah. But on a more fun note, another Twitter thing, the director for Shazaam is at it again, trolling people online. Someone asked if Shazaam uses the Shazam app in the movie. He goes, yes, but in our movie it's called Captain Marvel.
Wow.
Yeah. So
wow. Okay. All right. Wow. That's okay. In my mind, having him take the stab at having the idea that Shazam does exist, and then it's like, okay, wait, the Shazam app would exist. Let's call it Captain Marvel. And that would it mean that all of the Marvels are apps in that instance?
I mean, it comes from
The Hulk app.
What would the Hulk app be?
Weightlifting, weight training.
Okay. Okay, then let's do this really quick. Okay, that's the weightlifting one. What would Captain America be? Is that some kind of FBI? Yeah,
I was like leaning back and being like, maybe an NRA thing.
Well, no, he's not guns.
I know, but
That would be Winter Soldier or Punisher. Punisher could be the NRA one. Okay, fine. The Daredevil app, it's just some kind of Braille type of thing. I don't know.
Braille on a phone?
You're no, more like maybe you could type something up and print it out in Braille. There's printers that do it.
You're right, but it's okay.
It translates the bumps for you. I don't know.
Oh.
Let's see what else. The Spider-Man app. It swings you around town. I don't know.
It's a good GPS.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, it's a GPS, but it's all 30 floors and up. You need something on the first floor? Can't help you.
We can get you to the 30th floor of that area. Yeah, that's about it.
That's women's wear, right? Yeah, we got that. But no, it comes from the fact that originally Shazam was called Captain Marvel, and then the whole big lawsuit happened, which I won't get into because I'd have to do more research to not put my foot in my mouth. But because I understand the lawsuit, I just kind of forget some of the more finite details of it. But basically, he was called Captain Marvel. A lawsuit happened. He's not called Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel is now called Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Done. I like the way he's handling things. I like the way he's responding to the fans. I feel like he's the closest thing to a James Gunn DC's had. Minus the having to fire him part. But he did the thing with the paper towel. He's done this. There was one other thing he did. So I hope to see a little bit more of this before the movie comes out.
I mean, he seems to be fully supporting Shazam, and he seems to not be not promoting the movie. Like, yo, go see the movie. The movie good. He's just responding to random questions and quips, and that's promotion in and of itself.
Yeah, and that's kind of what Twitter has become in some senses, and that's the part of Twitter I like, is the responses from people on things like this.
I haven't been on Twitter until recently. Like, I had a Twitter, but I never did anything with it until this, I would say, the start of this year. And now I'm like looking down and looking at tweets, and I'm just like, huh.
This can be fun.
This is okay.
It's definitely got its downsides, and it's got its crappy people.
I'll follow this person. I'll follow this person. Oh, this guy's doing a giveaway. Yeah, I'll follow him for.
I've had my moments of asking directors or writers or something like that questions on Twitter, and them getting right back to me, and I'm like, this is great.
Yeah,
I like that this is happening. Todd McFarlane did it. He was talking back when there was supposed to be a TV show coming out about two of the characters from Spawn, which I think isn't happening now. I'm not entirely sure. I just, not expecting an answer, asked him, is it going to be connected to the Spawn movie you're doing? And he, within like a couple hours, responded back with an answer. I was like, oh, okay, sweet. And it's not, in case the show still happens. Yeah, it was very Senpai Noticed Me moment. But there's definitely a fun side to it.
Oh, yeah.
Now, a few more announcements about people in positions like directors and stuff like that. One of the big directors over at Pixar, guy that directed Monsters Inc., Toy Story 2 and 3, Finding Nemo, Coco, is left the company, retired after 25 years there.
That is a long time. And
Yep.
I didn't even know Pixar was open that long.
Yeah, Pixar's been around for a while.
I just had never an idea.
And he did all these photos before he left. They put up on his Twitter page that you can see where he sat down. They have like a couch where you can sit with the Incredibles and lobby, stuff like that. And he says that he's not leaving to make movies for another company. He's leaving to spend time with his family and work on other projects he's been meaning to get to. So I'm assuming that maybe we're going to see something maybe in the book realm or something. I'm not entirely sure. I don't want to speculate because he hasn't said anything else.
But we wish him the best.
Yeah, I wish him the best. I mean, I like his work. I mean, I'm a Pixar fan. I haven't seen everything. I haven't seen Coco.
I loved Coco.
Was it good?
It was good. It got some good tears out of me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I don't really.
I know you're strong.
No, it's not that at all. I'll full on admit, Spider-Verse standard made me cry. Rogue One almost made me cry. For those of you that have seen Rogue One, I saw it the night Carrie Fisher died, so you understand why I almost cried.
Yeah.
But for the Pixar movies, I enjoy them, but I feel like they've gotten too into the we have to make you cry lately.
Well, to be fair, that's kind of the Disney motif.
Yeah, okay, good point. I don't like that Disney's just trying to kick me all the time. Like, let me have some fun, damn it. It doesn't have to all be somber.
Well, Up did the thing of we'll get the worst over with immediately and then let you have
Disney just likes to kill the parents of characters.
Or the wives.
Or the wives.
Or the dogs. John Wick.
That's not Disney.
I know.
But
you didn't sign that. I know.
I know. But it's sad to see someone who's been such a big part of both a childhood and adulthood now move on to something new. But like I said, wish him best of luck. Another person in that vein, you want to talk about this one, is the Nintendo.
Reggie Fils-Aime, or Amy. I'm not 100% sure how to say it.
It's a hyphen.
It's a hyphenated.
I have a hyphen last name. No one knows how to say it.
Yes, but he is retiring after 15 years, and he's done a lot of good memes over the course of his Nintendo career. He supported all of them. He even made himself most of them. I still have in my saved pictures a gif of him tapping his wrist about the time, wiggling his booty and just grooving with it. I'm just like, okay, all right, I'm glad that he exists. But he's being replaced with another gentleman who, in a picture that I showed Quincey just before this, it says all Mario games are canceled. And I'm like, I don't know if I like this joke. I don't like this joke.
I like that he's immediately coming in and going, guess what? I'm going to be fun too.
Yeah.
So
he could have been more fun. I don't know if he's serious or not.
That would be the death of the company. That and dropping Pokemon would be the death of the company.
Yeah.
Which, from what I understand, we're seeing some interesting stuff coming from the Pokemon Go VR.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. I didn't fall into the Pokemon Go thing nearly as hard as I thought I was going to. I downloaded it, made the account, played for a little bit, fell out of it pretty quick.
Same.
For those of you that do play, there's a new coin that will allow you to change your teams now. So you no longer have to be Team Mystic or Team whatever the other ones were.
Valor and...
Yeah, I don't remember.
Instinct.
Was it Valor, Instinct, and Mystic? Okay. So yeah, you'll be able to change teams now. So that's a big change. So Pokemon Goers, have some fun with that. It's just not my cup of tea. I stopped playing Pokemon back on the Advanced, not because I have anything against it. I still love Pokemon to this day. It's just I stopped getting the new handhelds.
Yeah,
so it became more difficult to play.
Third generation was kind of where I took a break, and then I got I got Moon. I got Pokemon Moon, and I played that for a little bit and never beat it, and I kind of regret it. But I too like Pokemon, but I don't know. I just fell off.
Yeah. I still know a lot of people who are our age that play, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I mean, go for it. Enjoy your fandom.
It's harmless. If it is harmless to me, you, and everyone else, enjoy it. Yeah. I see no problem.
Just because I, started to shrivel up on the inside doesn't mean you have to. But another thing in the realm of handheld games, the PlayStation thing you want to talk about.
Oh, yes. The Vita is now all completely legacy. From the about a couple of years ago, a couple of the Vitas were already hitting legacy, so a bit of confusion on whether or not all Vitas were legacy. Now it is confirmed all of them are hitting legacy, and there is no more production of them. So if you are in the market for a Vita, buy them now because they're going to go the way of the original blocky Game Boy, and they are going to. No, I can't say spike in price, but they're going to go up steadily.
Let me tell you, I have several of those original blocky Game Boys. They ain't worth anything. Except for my peace of mind that I own
condition.
Them. Mine are in decent condition.
Well, I mean, if it was in box.
The Vita does have 2 versions that were still being made in Japan, and those were the final 2, and those are the ones that are being ended.
That is correct.
So,
and also, another thing about that, PlayStation Plus members are no longer going to be getting Vita games. It is just going to be strictly... actually, I think even the PS3 games are not going to be available. It's just going to be the PS4 set.
Okay, so, I mean, that wasn't really ever an issue for me because I only have the 4. However, I do feel like you're kind of cutting a lot out of there now.
Wait.
Considering you're charging the same amount the Xbox is charging.
You're right, but they're also giving us the same thing, though.
No, yeah, I get. I'm saying, so, we were getting what? We would get 2 free games a month on PlayStation before you count the Vitas and the 3s.
It was 2 each. 2
Okay,
for
2
4,
for
2 for 3,
and
2
for
for
Vita. So that's 6. That's a lot more than Xbox is giving us.
Yeah.
But with Xbox, we're getting at least one 360 game every month, and then we're getting. Excuse me, sorry. We're getting at least one 360 game, and then we're getting some of the Xbox Ones, and occasionally we get an original Xbox game. So I feel like, Xbox kind of really cornered the market with the backward compatibility and everything. And I feel like PlayStation needs to kind of figure something out there. There's talks that the 5 will do that, but at this point, I ain't looking at a new console.
If the 4 is doing what I'm telling it to do, and I have no reason to bump up to another console, I'm good. And plus, the next console I said I was going to buy was a Switch.
Yeah, I'm pretty much in the same spectrum there as a Switch.
Like, real talk, I already have my mains for Ultimate. Like, if I ever catch my hands on a Switch and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, I already know the 3 I'm going to play, and I'm going to go hard.
Yeah. I'm hoping they do, maybe this year for the holidays, do a good bundle that I can afford. I know it's a long ways out for a Switch, but if the price is right and it's got the right stuff with it, that'll probably be what I do.
Same.
But, I mean, I've got a PlayStation 4 I barely play. I've got an Xbox One that I sink hours into, but I'm not looking for it to do anything it's not doing already.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the next, because there's also specs that have been leaked for the next Xbox. I'm tired of buying consoles.
Same. Like, I think if it's not going to be a Switch, I think a PC would probably be your other next venture. But
yeah, and even with the PC, I feel like sometimes you build a great PC and then a game comes out that needs a part that's just a little bit better than what you have, and I'm like, fucking hell, really?
But see,
if I'm seeing the difference, I get it. If I'm not seeing the difference, that's when I get mad.
You won't. With most of that stuff, you won't see the difference,
and that's where I get mad. Like, if I'm not seeing the difference in the upgrades and what you're telling me I need for this game, then is it really worth it?
In some instances, no. But if you were running like my old PC to the one that I have right now, then it'd be like a little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, but when I have to go one version up on a graphics card to get a game that looks just like
if it were on that
game
one.
I got on the other one.
Yeah,
like,
no.
Come on, guys, really?
Yeah, no, of course not. It's all comparative to, of course, budget.
Yeah, and that was kind of one of the things that always threw me off about PC gaming was, while I don't have to buy a console, I do have to buy parts, and those parts can get console pricey.
Mm-hmm. Oh, of course.
So,
but some of them are future-proof, as they want to call it. They have 10 years of lifespan.
And I like that. That makes me feel more secure.
Yeah.
When I buy a new cell phone, if there's talks that if anything happens or if I want to go somewhere new, that I get an upgrade, that makes me happy.
Would you pay $2,000 for a cell phone?
The way they're going, it's looking like it.
Oh, I don't mean to cut you off with it, but
no, I'm not saying I'd pay $2,000. It's not in the same wheelhouse at all financially.
Oh, no.
But the fact that there is the chance that I'm not going to get screwed when something new comes out, that makes me more willing to pay a little bit more for what I'm getting.
Yeah, just as long as it's something that is a drastic improvement.
Yes.
Okay. And speaking of the cell phones costing $2,000, Samsung Flip. It is a 4.7-inch standardized touchscreen curved phone, but it can open up into a 6.8-inch little, I would say a tablet, like a note-sized tablet, and it folds very efficiently. And the first question I asked, can it bend the other way? But no, it looks like it'll be great. It is. They say it has a bunch of other features. It tries to promote that it can handle 3 apps at once on one screen. To which I say, have fun with that. I don't know. I have a budget brand phone. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It does what I tell it to do. It plays the one mobile game that I enjoy. I see no problem to upgrade to something that drastic for $2,000.
I don't ever see needing to have 3 apps open at once.
If you were okay, there was like their rundown of it was they were watching a YouTube video about a place they want to visit. They had Chrome open with the ticket places and a text message talking to a friend about that place they want to go to.
That's all fine and dandy, but I'm not planning travel while I'm on the go, so I will be sitting at my computer doing all that in 3 open windows.
You're right. You are
2 open windows on the computer and 1 phone text messaging, or running YouTube on the TV while I search up tickets on the laptop and text my friend with my phone. Like, it's a good example, except for the fact that I will never need to do it mobily.
Okay.
And that's where I set up and go. That becomes a bad example. The other thing is, we've been alive long enough to see pretty much the entire mainstream history of cell phones, from when they first became mainstream to where they currently are.
Do you remember the N-Gage?
I do remember the N-Gage. But I don't want to talk about the N-Gage.
You're right.
My point is it went from, they were these huge things. Actually, before they were even mainstream, they were big power boxes with a corded phone.
Military.
Yeah. Fun fact, the first movie to ever show one of them being used was Lethal Weapon. Mm-hmm. The cops, Murtaugh and Riggs. Murtaugh uses it to call the psychiatrist while they're sitting on the bridge to talk about Riggs after he threatens to shoot himself.
Maybe Platoon might have had one.
I'm talking civilian use, not
civilian
military
use?
grade
Oh,
ones.
oh, okay.
Yeah. Not even necessarily civilian because they're cops, but like not military grade stuff. This is the first one because you could actually buy those ones and use those ones. Now, but we've seen them go from big, huge, bulky to let's get them as small as we can. Now it's bigger screens, bigger screens, bigger screens. They're just making them huge now. And now we're going back to flipping phones? Really? Like,
you know, that just dawned on me. I was like, man, I remember seeing the Nokia Razr, you know, being the flip phone that everyone wanted, and now all of a sudden we're like, shit, we're going back again.
Yeah, we went back on size. Now we're going back to flips. Like, what's next? We're gonna slide a keyboard out the side of it?
Ooh, I made a cringe face right there.
Stylus are back. People with a note and stuff like that have the stylus again.
No. To be fair, some people prefer stylus. Like, some people outsource for styluses just so they can have it on their.
No, I have a very nice pen that's got a stylus on the end. That's okay for work, on my phone. But it reminds me of a Palm Pilot again.
Yeah.
Now with the Note doing the flip thingy, or not Note, the Note, the one you were just talking about.
Samsung Flip.
Thank you, Samsung Flip, doing the flip thingy. I'm like, okay, where's the stylus hidden at? Where's gonna be the guy that's sitting there typing shit, making himself look important at the coffee shop?
Oh, well, their positives on it is that it doesn't have but 1 or 2 cameras. It has 6 cameras.
Why would I need 6 cameras?
3 in the front, 3 in the back. I don't know. Apparently, it does 3D imaging. I know you're making a weird face, but I'm like, I can't justify $2,000 for.
If I'm going to put $2,000 into a camera that does all that, it's going to be a camera that does all that, not a phone that does all that.
Apparently, this thing is going to be as good as a Canon.
I mean, it can be as great as any kind of camera. I don't care. It's unnecessary.
Okay, yeah. I mean, you're not wrong, but at the same time, some people want to be able to take the photo and just send it digitally. They don't want to have to take the photo, take out the SD card, pop it into a computer or otherwise.
You've got cameras that can connect now.
You're right, but I don't know.
You know, I get that it's kind of cool with having the, like, say, OneDrive or something on your phone. You take the photo, it's immediately on your desktop. That's cool. I get it, but I don't think it's needed at a point where you can demand $2,000. That's a lot of money to expect people to pay for something that's not an immediate need. The crazy thing is someone's going to buy it. That's the real crazy thing, is a lot of people are going to buy it somehow, or for some reason. One of the shows I like to watch on YouTube is Unbox Therapy. Hey, he unboxes things and talks about them, basically.
Oh, okay.
It's very much what the name says. But recently he's just been on this stint of phones for a while. There's all these absolutely insanely priced phones that are like made out of gold and stuff like that. And I'm just like, why do you need that? I mean, he's not getting them because he needs them. He's getting them because that's what the show does. But it's just reached a weird place with cell phones now. I'm wondering how long before house phones make a comeback. I mean, if we're going backwards on phones, they're getting bigger, they're flipping again. When's a house phone going to come back?
I don't think ever.
I have one.
I mean,
but it's just because it's bundled.
Yeah, and then speaking of YouTube, Game Grumps hit 5 million subs, which
congrats.
Which I'm kind of bummed that it took them this long to get that much. Even when JonTron was a part of the channel, I thought they would already had, I would say maybe over 3.5. But them hitting 5 just recently kind of seems like a shock with all the effort they put in with their 10-minute power hours and their very selective series.
I think a lot of it comes down to there was a point where people were nuts about YouTube, subscribing to things and wanted to talk to you about the channels they were subscribing and pushing it. And not that people aren't nuts about YouTube now, because they still are. But I feel like it's kind of gotten out of a point where I don't know the last time someone came to me and told me about a new channel.
I
have to discover the channels on myself.
I mean, I've tried to do the YouTube thing. I've got 700 videos, 300 subs. The channel ain't going anywhere, but at the same time, it ain't going any. The only place it can go is up at this point.
However, his channel is where you can find this podcast.
Yes.
So be sure to check us out over at LongShot Heroes.
Yes.
But no, it's very much like I'm not saying there's anything bad about YouTube, and I'm not saying there's anything against subscribing to anything on YouTube. It's just I don't honestly remember the last time someone told me about a new channel. I mean, you told me about Hot Ones, but I've heard about it in the past. I just never subscribed. I think maybe Game Grumps was one of the last ones that someone ever suggested to me, which was you, and that was a while ago.
That was a bit ago.
I mean, possibly a year or more.
That was, I think that was when John was planning on leaving. Because I was like, yo, John's fucking, wow, he's kicking up. But yeah, when Dan took over, Dan was a good replacement. Dan was a very good replacement. Real talk, I want to meet Dan. I want to have a conversation with Dan. Would I go gay for Dan? Maybe. But that's neither here nor there at this point in time.
That'll be next Valentine's Day. We talk about that.
all of our guilty pleasures on actors, actresses, YouTubers, that sort of thing.
I'll start shouting them out now. I mean, I don't even care.
Emma Stone,
Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds is up there.
I mean, just to be able to get close to the Deadpool suit alone.
1990s Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise now. I mean, he may be 5 feet tall, but
I don't know.
It means I can carry him around.
In Jack Reacher, I felt like he was way too over the hill.
I only saw the first one. I really liked it, though.
He seemed over the hill.
I mean, that's kind of the character.
You're right, but 1990s. Cocktail.
Ooh, good pull.
Yeah.
Lauren's never seen it.
What?
Yep. So, I'm a huge Tom Cruise fan, for anyone that didn't know. I don't care about the Scientology thing. I mean, people are allowed to have their religions, I guess. Whatever. I like pretty much every movie I've ever seen him in. And people are going to say, like, oh, this one, that one. Never seen it, most likely, or I can make an argument for it, one or the other. Vanilla Sky. Never saw it, so you can tell me it's terrible. I didn't see it.
It was good writing, but I don't think Tom Cruise should have filled that role. Okay. Real talk, I mean, he did okay, but it's chick flick.
No. I like the occasional chick flick. I like funny chick flicks more than anything. If I'm going to watch chick flick, I like funny one.
I've never seen Tom Cruise do a comedy, now thinking about it. Except for, no, I wouldn't consider that a comedy either. Has Tom
Tropic
Cruise...
Thunder. He's the balding studio executive that does the dance.
That's right!
Yeah.
Okay, never mind then. Retract statement. He has done a comedy.
Everyone talks crap about his singing in Rock of Ages. And one, I thought he was great. Two, he went through like 6 months of training because he's not a singer.
I'm like this with it. I don't know. I didn't like the whole movie as a whole, so...
was Alec Baldwin went on record saying he only did that movie because he wanted to work with Tom.
Oh
yeah.
Like, real talk, there's a lot of things that Tom could do right now, but I'm worried that he can't do it now because he's a little, as I said, over the top. Because after the first Jack Reacher, and
he
then
still does most of his stunts in the Mission Impossible movies.
You're right, but he's not looking great in total. Like
I mean, age gets everyone eventually.
You're right, and that's
except
where I'm
Elvira.
also...
What the hell?
Yeah, she's still
Sandra
fucking...
Peterson still looks amazing.
But when you look like, I don't know, when out of the touch-up makeup, out of the foundation, and you got the fucking crow's feet on the freaking cheeks, that's a bit much.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, aging gets everyone, and
looks over at Will Smith.
Well,
he does not age.
Yeah.
Like you saw the Bad Boys.
Yeah.
Cut.
Even Martin's even looking good.
Martin has a little bit of.
You can tell he's gotten older, but
yeah,
like,
but you look
I wouldn't
at Will,
say he's aging bad.
You look at Will and you're like, is that just for men on you? No, what the fuck?
Yeah. There's a few actors that have aged though, but aging kind of helped them. I always felt like spacing on his name, Big Lebowski.
Oh God. Oh no.
I can't.
Oh no.
Jeff Bridges.
Yes.
I feel like he looks better now than he ever has. Like gray Jeff Bridges looks amazing.
I would want to see him as a Marvel villain. I don't care which one.
Yeah.
I would like to see him play a villain, not as the dude, please. Let me tell you about.
I'm tired of seeing him do smaller roles. Like he has a very, as far as I'm concerned, a very small role in Kingsman 2.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, we need more Bridges in that than what we got. I liked him in R.I.P.D. even though that movie did not do well.
No, it did not.
I liked him in it. I thought he was funny. And putting him and Reynolds together, I thought would have been an amazing thing. I think maybe if we could do that again for a different movie, maybe we could find a role for Bridges in a Deadpool movie. That'd be great. I'm trying to think of a good mutant villain he could play.
Well, if they didn't already get the visage of Beast, I would actually like to see him as Beast. Yeah,
he would be a decent Beast. We've had two different Beasts now. We got the young Beast, and then we got Kelsey Grammer is the other Beast.
Real talk, him being the intelligent scientist Beast, and then hanging from the ceiling while drinking a cup of coffee. I'm like, oh, you.
No, I love Kelsey. Kelsey
is amazing.
He has been through some serious shit in his life, too.
I mentioned Frasier last
episode. You did. I hope it happens.
I hope it does too, but at the same time, I don't want Netflix to take everything at this point. Because if Netflix is treating my shows like this, I don't know if I can keep supporting that.
I mean, we've still got regular cable. We've got Hulu. We've got Amazon.
Where is Punisher?
No, I know, but I'm saying we've got other places where shows can go that'll hopefully keep them alive for many seasons. I mean, look at what happened over at Amazon. Jack Reacher season 2 is not even out yet, and they just renewed it for season 3.
I'll give it that.
So I mean, Amazon's like, well, we have faith in this. They've Grand Tours on its 3rd or 4th season now over at Amazon. Handmaid's Tale's killing it over at Hulu.
Men on the High Tower on Amazon.
So I mean, there's definitely still original programming being done over at other places. South Park did an episode I think last season where they were like, and it will make Netflix will make anything into a show, and then one of the kids pitches the one show Netflix finally turns down. So, but the new joke needs to be, we'll make your show, but we'll cancel it before it even airs.
Oh,
should be the new joke, as far as I'm concerned. It's getting rough.
You had mentioned iTunes.
iTunes
Apple
is sinking like $8 billion or something like that.
But I'm wondering, like, I need something. I need substance.
The original programming was announced like 2 years ago that they were going to be doing this.
Well, I want something like as far as the pitches, the ideas. Give me something. Fuck. If you're putting that much money into it, let your consumers know what the fuck is up.
And one of the big things is everyone's buying up books and comic books, which is not a new thing by any means. But they're buying up books and comic books to make things, and they're also introducing original scripts. But I feel like because everyone's trying to make original programming, we're really getting some of the weirdest, most random things being made.
Yeah, what was that one I saw the other day that made me just... I saw half of Anita Battle Angel for free, by the way. Mm-hmm. Walked out.
I heard the cinematography in it. It was actually really great.
It was good. It was a lot of action, but the story was too all over the place, and I said...
That's what I heard also.
I would say maybe 3/4 of the way through, I walked out. I was actually falling asleep.
I do have to say that, I want to put a lot of focus on cinematography in this world because I feel like it doesn't get the respect it deserves, because from what I understand, the cinematography on that is amazing, but I've heard it mentioned by one, now counting you, 2 people.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Like I was starting to like daydream and like dazing off.
I haven't read the series yet. It's available on my Comixology Unlimited, and I plan to read it. Not sponsored.
I've read a little bit of it, and I enjoyed it. It had a nice coherency, but I don't think it would hold up to the movie's standards by any way, shape, or form.
Now, another one I really liked the cinematography for that looked amazing was Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh, hell yeah!
It was beautiful.
Hell yeah!
I would hang parts of that movie around my house.
I would get the mural of Miles doing the back jump off of the Empire State.
That'd be great. I'd get the, spoilers for anyone, but I mean, it's a very simple thing. What he paints on the wall.
Oh, yeah.
I would get that in a second. Put that as a big old poster like right here in the recording. Yeah, that'd be great. And I love that they kind of tapped into the graffiti world, and the art that, the urban art, if you want to call it that. What you're seeing, because I can respect good graffiti. It's the random words I can't make out that I don't care about. The actual art, though, that people do with graffiti, I love it, and so I love what that movie did with it, and it kind of felt like they brought in a different kind of artist than what you see in films.
Mm-hmm. Time to bum us out. So, what we've already gone over with Overkill over the past couple of episodes was that Payday 2 has not been doing well on consoles because they don't update it there. Even the PC has seen its decrease of players, that sort of thing. And now their Walking Dead game, which I had no clue until I saw this article, that it was on PC for 3 months since November. No clue it had released. And then that day, I was like, oh, okay, cool. Let's see it. Let's take a look at it. It's not getting a PS4 release anymore.
Nope.
And
I don't even know what it's about.
Apparently, it's just a survival up because it seems to have some co-op features. But the reviews hit hard. The netcode is terrible. Disconnects all the time. People were complaining about falling through the areas. Like when you hit like a certain staircase, you keep falling through it. And you can't complete a certain mission-ish. And it was just flacked. And then they said, oh, I guess we'll cancel the PS4 release on 1 month until it's supposed to be released. And I'm like, that's not good. You do something like that, it already makes you look like you don't have a game ready. This should have been in early access. Apparently it wasn't. It was a full release. I don't get it. I don't understand this company.
I'm wondering if there's going to be a company to even understand at this point.
Well, Payday 2 is still their best seller, and they're still working on the PC to a degree. Like, they're still doing DLCs for it. Apparently, they're going to do another Hotline Miami one. They're going to do another...
Question's going to be, are people going to buy it?
Biker. I love Hotline Miami, and if I was still into Payday 2... I can tell you without a discernible fact, I would have probably leaned into it.
That's the thing, though. You're no longer into it, mostly because of the way they've treated it.
Yes and no.
If it had worked better, do you think you would still be into it?
Yeah.
See? So if they had treated it better, made it run better, you'd probably be more into it, and you'd be buying their DLCs.
Yeah.
I don't want to see a game company go out of business. We've seen a lot of game companies go out of business the last couple of years.
Telltale was the worst.
Yeah.
Like, I feel as though there could have been a little bit of crowdfunding to help boost that back up, but they didn't even reach out for us. It's like they just gave up.
I feel like, and I don't know for sure. I have no idea for sure, but this is just how I feel. I feel like maybe whoever was running the company now wasn't a person that actually cared, was just a person that was looking at the numbers and looking at the checks and went, screw it, and left.
Yeah.
A little bit more kind of bummer news for some of you, I'm sure. So this is a review that I found on Fandom by James Picard. So it's a review for Anthem. He played it on PC. He's giving it a 2.5 out of 5.
That's a 50%. That's still a failing grade. But
it's a failing grade. He says it's got a gorgeous presentation. piloting your javelin is initially a joy, but combat dulls over time. Frustrating structure that makes the game to stop-start. I don't want a game that's going to bring me down to that point.
No, but apparently that's only some people, because I got one of my friends that has been... The game's only been on maybe, a week and a half? And he's already put in 38 to 40 plus hours. And he's saying, oh yeah, this is the greatest game. He's streaming it right now, probably as we are speaking. And he's loving the shit out of the game. So, I don't know.
A few more things he touches on here. Frustrating... Oh, I recovered that, sorry. Weak and unengaging story that forgoes all player choices.
Now, see, that's a bit one of those early Telltale things where it's like, it doesn't matter what choice you choose. It's still going to end that way. Huh?
It's Mass Effect. Oh, it doesn't matter what you did. It all ends the same way.
Well, with Mass Effect, it kind of measures towards your skills and abilities. Yeah. Because there are a few things in Mass Effect that if you choose, it actually differentiates your path. But, of course, the end game is the end game.
And then he goes on to say, lack of mission variety and boring loot kill the game's core loop. So basically, you're just kind of looping through, doing the same missions and getting the same loot over and over again. It's a Destiny clone. We knew that, but I have a friend who is a hardcore Destiny fan. Like, follows the lore, reads all of it, just absolutely adores Destiny. He played Anthem and he's enjoying it, but he goes, "Oh, it's a ripoff. It's got its own stuff, definitely, but they even ripped story elements. Like, there's the wall and everything."
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I feel like this is kind of another flop for EA. I mean, even if they make money on it, it's still not like you can make money and you can be successful with it. It doesn't make it a good game.
Yeah, but then on the open and closed hand, you got the free-to-play Apex Legends, still earning money, still earning a lot of fan base.
True.
So, I mean, you got the win, you got the lose in this month, is what I'm saying.
That's they tapped into something there. I mean, it's the Battle Royale, it's a big thing right now. But I mean, look at the numbers Destiny was turning. I mean, figure a Destiny clone would make sense as well, because Apex Legends is a Fortnite clone or a PUBG clone, whatever you want to call it, while bringing in its own stuff. Definitely, I'm not trying to take anything away from it. Mm-hmm. But that's kind of how these things work. I mean, Wolfenstein was a Doom clone. I mean, it's kind of the way gaming goes. Once something hits, everyone goes, "Oh, I can do my version of that." Mm-hmm. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. It kind of makes people... Some of these ideas are things that already existed. It kind of brings people out of the woodwork and kind of makes them go, "I was too nervous to show my idea before, but now that I know you people might like it, here it is."
And then we get Anthem.
I'm a little worried that Anthem's just another EA cash grab. I'm wondering where the loot boxes are hitting at.
I don't like hearing that word anymore.
Loot box? Loot box.
Stop it.
Loot box.
Like, there are games that do loot boxes right, like Apex Legends. You earn them one a level. Every level you get
They're cosmetic.
They're cosmetic. They don't give anything excess. They have their percentages of getting something really nice, that sort of thing. That's fine. Same thing with Wildlands. You get them for free over the course of your tiers. That's fine. But when you start doing the whole, here's a gun that is exclusive to these, but you have to get the paid crates. And it's like, don't do that.
A lot of these big companies are becoming more about the microtransactions than the game. They still want to charge us $60, but then they want to make hundreds off of us in the microtransaction.
We've brought this up the last 3 fucking times, but they just brought them back at Black Ops 4.
Again. But, another one we could talk about that we haven't talked about is GTA with the shark cards.
Well, those ones are optional because you can just grind your money.
And that's the one reason why I'm a bit more accepting about them. If I have the ability to do the same thing that the person who's paying does, fine.
Yeah. It just takes you a little bit longer.
Which I'm fine with. But how many times have we all been killed by some guy in a jet on GTA because he went and bought, X amount on shark cards and just bought the damn jet?
That's on him.
It ruins the game for everyone else.
It's mommy's credit card, man. Just let it go.
It ruins the game for everyone else.
Back over to Black Ops 4. You got a $60 game with a $50 fucking season pass. Then you got another battle tier thing for the blackout mode. Mm-hmm. If you purchase that, that's another $20. You're already hitting $110, and that's not hitting the loot boxes. That's ridiculous. Activision, no, you are not seeing me purchase any more of these games. I'm glad you gave it to me for free when I got my PC, because I'm glad I did not buy that game.
I mean, Activision's doing it, and EA are doing it. They're the biggest for it.
Yeah, I mean, Blizzard does it too, but they say all cosmetic. Nothing.
EA is doing it over on Battlefront also. Battlefront 2 is huge with loot boxes, which they just unveiled Anakin, and everyone's... They're doing like a you underestimated my power type of thing, which is great and all. And I enjoy the original Battlefront games, but I mean, at this point, I don't want to pay for loot boxes, and I'm just going to get my ass handed.
Does he get melted face?
I don't know. I haven't seen what it looks like. But while we're on that subject, we are 6 years into a 10-year agreement between EA and Lucas.
Where's the game?
And we've gotten 2 games. The last time they canceled canceled one was that RPG we talked about. Yep. And their reasoning behind it was they want a game now, not a game later.
But it's like, then why canceling?
Yeah. Disney's already said, though, that they don't plan on opening up a game developer, and they can plan on keeping to licensing to companies like EA. And I'm hoping that doesn't mean we're going to re-up this license with EA in 4 years, because, dear Lord, no.
If we gave it to, like...
I'd like to see Insomniac take a crack at the
I would
Star
like
Wars
to see
game.
Insomniac. I would like to see Insomniac and Square Enix do a handshake.
Square Enix would be good.
Because if Insomniac and Square Enix do a handshake for another nice little beat 'em up like they did with Kingdom Hearts 3, and just bring in a few Insomniac members to help out with movement and otherwise, considering Kingdom Hearts 3 looks like it plays amazingly.
Where's all the Final Fantasy characters?
You know, you can't win them all. You get your Moogles. Shut up.
Yeah.
But if they can do a nice handshake where you have fluid mobility from point A to point B, you've got action all the way through, you've got a good coherent story. I want to see a good IP from both of them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've gotten we've gotten good IPs from both of them. I've seen something together would be interesting.
Oh yeah.
But it did just remind me of something. So, I'm a big Hitman fan.
Yes, you are.
And I like to do my elusive targets. And I missed the most recent elusive target because it was only available if you bought the Legacy Pack. The Legacy Pack is you rebuying the first game so that you can play it on the second game.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, so when they announced Hitman 2, they told us, oh, hey, Hitman 2 is going to allow you to play Hitman 1, so you only need to have one game on your console, and you only need to put in one disc or have one digital download. Fucking sweet. Bought the game, turns out, oh, no, you have to pay for an expansion. You already own the first Hitman game? That doesn't matter. It's a whole new thing. It's the Legacy. And I didn't do it because I already own it. I don't have the money to keep buying the same game over and over again.
That's actually really dumb.
And now they just launched an elusive that was on a Legacy map. It was on like Paris or Japan or something from the first game. I don't remember which. But
that's actually not great. That actually would pull me out completely.
It really pissed me off. And the thing is,
Ubisoft?
This is so I don't remember what company owns Hitman, but they keep bouncing between developers. The first one was done by Square Enix, and I loved it.
That's right.
This new one was done by Warner Brothers Games.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's right. You had just mentioned that because they don't do that app anymore.
Yeah, they also Square Enix had an app for the first game that would tell you when the elusives were up and give you countdowns. You could watch the videos and everything. Not a thing now. So
that would have been a really great thing to have.
Yeah. Now I'm depending on YouTubers and tweets and stuff like that to remind me or let me know there's an elusive that just hit.
But now you can't even play most of them because they're going to be on past maps that you don't own.
That I do own, just don't own the way they want me to own.
Yes.
It's absolutely insane. It's not a cheap pack. It's like a $30 pack or something like that. For a game I already spent $60 on.
Well, plus, because didn't you get the big edition?
Yeah, I got the steel box.
That's it.
It wasn't that much more.
Oh, okay. But even still, you paid more than what you should have for that.
Mm-hmm.
But that should be free if you have, let's say, the install data already on there. Because that makes no sense.
Both games are currently installed on my console.
Fucking.
The game companies are just getting too greedy. We're seeing it all over the place. I'm hoping some of these bigger companies get a reality check. I want EA to get a reality check. I want Activision to get a reality check. Treyarch needs to get a reality check. I'm hoping Bungie pulling from Activision kind of makes Activision go, oh crap, we had something good and we didn't realize it.
Well, they did that already, but it makes me wonder where the hell Bungie's going to go. Are they going to start up their own?
I mean, if Bungie wants to run on their own, I'm all for it. I mean, I wasn't the biggest Halo fan, but I can't say they weren't good games.
I mean,
I didn't like Destiny 2 all that much, but I can't say that, it didn't not work. It worked.
It worked.
That's the thing. That seemed to be a challenge in its own nowadays from game
It was
companies.
a first-person MMO. That's all I can say about it.
Yeah, but I mean, let's be honest. I mean, getting a game that works seems to be a challenge nowadays for companies. Like we were just talking about with Payday being broken on console and them not wanting to fix it. What happened with Batman Arkham Knight on PC?
Yeah,
I got to the point that they just said fuck it and refunded everyone because that game just wasn't working. So I've reached a point of annoyance with the AAA companies. I'm not necessarily saying I want indie. But I'm not against indie. Indie games can be great. I'm playing Undertale right now, and I'm rather enjoying it. I'm kind of whooping my ass every now and then, and I've never been a big fan of save points. I like to be able to save whenever I want, but that's kind of on me for not going back and saving more often. So I don't know. When people say a new AAA game's coming, I go, from what company? Because I immediately go, it may be crap. AAA no longer means good.
Yeah, it could just mean inexpensive.
Yeah. Something we talked about earlier, though, that I'm liking is some of these companies are starting to drop the price of games.
Yeah.
I don't remember the price on it. Shadow of Colossus.
30.
30 for... It was a remake, remaster, whatever you want to call it. But 30 wasn't bad. You got the new Far Cry that was 40. And even like their biggest version didn't get all that high.
I know, it's still 60.
Yeah, so, I mean, granted, they reused most of the stuff from the previous game. They didn't have to do as much work, but there's companies that have done the exact same thing and still charged you for a full game.
I mean, yeah.
So I was very happy when I saw the price tag on it. I didn't buy it because I didn't play the other one, so I don't have the story. But I do like that some of these companies are going, well, maybe we don't have to stick to the 60 that everyone kind of just agreed upon without ever actually agreeing upon it. Everyone just kind of ended up at a $60 price range.
But that's been since the NES era.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm not saying that it's a new thing by any means, but it's just we all ended up in the 60 price range and accepted that's what we pay for games.
Yeah.
So I'm glad to see something different hitting.
A bit of a skew news. Netflix is starting up Hulk Hogan's biopic. Chris Hemsworth. I'm sorry, I couldn't say it with a straight face. Chris Hemsworth as Hulk Hogan.
It's weird.
I like Hulk. We like Hulk.
So we like Hulk as the wrestler Hulk. Let's clarify.
Yeah.
What he does when he's not in there tearing his shirt off and throwing people around the ring, that's not what we're checking in for.
No.
The idea of a biopic for him seems weird.
I mean, I could think of another one, maybe for The Rock, maybe for Stone Cold, because both of their stories are actually really good. Because when The Rock first started off, he was not fan-liked at all, and I would like to know, his behind the scenes of that. His teardowns, because apparently he had a couple teardowns.
There's plenty of other wrestlers I'd like to see something on the Dudleys.
Oh yeah, Bubba
and Devon,
and maybe
even Spike.
Spike.
Yeah, give me a little bit about little Spike. I know he was a teacher before he became a wrestler.
Same thing with
I think he's a teacher again, actually.
Same thing with Baron Corbin.
See,
he's got 3 fucking degrees.
I mean, you can have all the degrees in the world, but if you're not happy doing it,
yeah, he seems to be happy.
Dexter from The Offspring, legitimate rocket scientist, does music. He actually took a break from the band, not even from the band. The band took a break so that he'd go finish his degree, and then they went back and toured. Finished the degree. He's not doing anything with it. He's not making rockets.
He's just saying, I have it.
Yeah, he's smart. It was something he wanted to do, but he enjoys the music.
Doesn't Flea have a degree from Red Hot?
Oh, I don't know if Flea does. I know that Flea's become a little bit outspoken about stuff. I know that.
Yeah.
Like things that should be outspoken for like how we're treating her, stuff like that. But
for some odd reason, the episode of South Park where the entire Red Hot Chili Peppers go into Moe's bar, and then they took the first cut of
Moe's is Simpsons. You said South Park.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh, we were just talking about South Park. But no, yes, thank you, Simpsons. Oh my God. But when all the Red Hot Chili Peppers come into Moe's tavern and go, Hey Mo, and then you got the first cut of Flea in the back going, "Hey Mo!"
He was the guest star, or like not the guest star, but the musical person for the second Back to the Future, because each Back to the Future has a musical person. First one's Huey Lewis. Second one's Flea, plays Needles, the guy that convinces Marty to send over information. And then the third one is you have, I do believe, all of ZZ Top, which they have no speaking lines. They're just the band at the party in the Old West.
Okay.
Yeah, they sit there and they play their music, and they're not even singing. It's just instrumental music.
Okay.
But yeah, Flea's had a little bit of an acting career. He's I can't think of his name. The one that babbles from Wild Thornberrys.
Donnie.
Donnie, yeah, that's Flea. Yep, that's all Flea.
Wow, I never knew that.
Yeah. But no, there's plenty of wrestlers I would rather see.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got the one coming out now. It's not a biopic. It's more of and I don't even know
biography. Because it's
Fighting with My Family. It's a dramatization, I guess you could say. Because it's
apparently her and her brother did run into The Rock, and I guess The Rock actually did give. That
I'm not saying
speech.
it didn't happen. The thing is biopics normally have archive footage, stuff like that.
Yeah.
This doesn't, so therefore it kind of.
It's a drama. Yeah, okay.
One that I'm interested in though is we're getting Rocket Man, which is an Elton John one. Looks really good. Now here's the crazy thing: the actor that plays Eggsy in Kingsman is playing Elton.
Really?
After having done Kingsman 2 with Elton. He looks good. I've seen him in the wigs. I've seen him in the costumes. Trailer just dropped. It's looking good.
I'll take a peek at it after this.
Yeah.
But holy cow.
Elton's retiring. You know that, right?
Yes.
So I mean,
he's happening.
This is a good time for the movie to come out. He's doing like a 1.5 year long retirement tour, though. It's like an insane tour. I would actually be down to see him before he retires.
And then you got Malik, that was playing Freddie Mercury in the Queen.
Yeah, well, I've heard a lot of people were like angry with that documentary for not touching on more of certain things in his life.
But at the same time,
the band was fine with it, and the person that, as far as I'm concerned, is probably the closest to Freddie. He was married, and he was married to a woman.
Yeah.
She was okay with it.
Yeah.
And his family was rather okay with it too. So.
Yeah. I mean, sure, they could have dabbled a little bit, but then again, that's not what probably Freddie would have wanted. He probably would have said, I want my career out there. I mean, I'll admit, yes, I was leaning toward guys. Yes, I was, having issues with this, that, and the other. But I don't want people to know that about me. I want people to know what I really actually want people to know about me.
Yeah. Oh, I think the best way to handle it is by talking to the family. It's by talking to the bandmates, talking to the people he was closest with. Like there was a documentary, not a biopic or anything like that, but an actual documentary that was done about Bowie right after he passed. It was directed by his son.
Okay.
So it's like that's an amazing way to handle it. Like his son made it. So I mean, I can't see any other way to have gone about that.
Yeah. Who would have known him better?
Yeah. I mean. And there's even parts about Bowie's life that he wished never came out that I don't think they covered in that documentary.
And that's fine.
Because they had already come out, they had already made light, but he regrets them making the light, and the documentary avoided it.
That's fine. Because this is supposed to be of the positive.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a celebration.
Even if it taps on the negative just to make it, not conflict or more entertaining, but to showcase, yes, this was a dark moment, but
I have my pick for just hit me. I have my pick for WWE or WWF, WW, whatever. I want to see a Macho Man one.
You know what? Yeah.
Yeah, I want a Macho Man one, and I hope we get a little bit of Bonesaw in there.
Bonesaw is ready.
Sorry to cut you off there.
That's fine.
It popped in my head. I was like, oh, I would love to see a Macho Man one, or even a Jake the Snake one would be cool.
Jake the Snake, Sting.
Yeah, Sting would be cool. I could also see Rod Van Dam, especially now his career's basically over.
I mean, he's still doing things.
He can't do it with WWF though anymore because of the injuries, or WWE because of the injuries.
I thought he was doing TNA right now.
But he is. But he was supposed to be doing WWE, but after the injury, WWE was like, we can't have you anymore.
Oh.
And he's blaming them for the injuries. So it's there's a lot of drama there right now.
Oh, interesting. But I don't. What was I on about?
No, we were talking about doing biopics with like honoring the life.
Oh, right. And then there was one that was very, very close teeth that I had in my mind, but is gone now. But even still, having source material is, of course, always the go-to. Having the family member of... Speaking of family member of, we were mentioning David Bowie. Did you know he helped make a video game?
Yes, I've heard about this. I don't remember what it was.
Omicron, the
That's
Nomad
right.
Soul.
Yeah.
Probably one of the worst David Cage games ever made. I'm going to voice my opinion right now. I'm not a huge David Cage fan. He has never enlightened me. I'll admit I didn't mind Heavy Rain, even though
Jason,
Sean.
Sean.
Yeah, no. I will admit I enjoyed it for the brief minute. Detroit Become Human. It hit a few nails on the head, but it made it seem like it was a political gain for some odd reason.
Oh, I mean, it's what was relevant. It's what's relevant.
I mean,
it's what we avoid here.
Yeah. Like, you're getting a huge shrug out of me when it comes to that game. Like, David Cage has never been my favorite person. When the two best friends, or as they've recently been called, super best friends before they broke up, they played a lot of the David Cage games. Omicron, Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls, and Detroit Become Human.
So I watched a playthrough of Beyond Two Souls, and it looks interesting, but it kind of suffers from what I feel like a lot of these games are suffering from: is it's a movie, not a game.
Yeah, and that's kind of what David Cage is. He seems to be a director of movies, not much of a director of games. And so when he tries to make these conflicts, and you're supposed to, hey, the decisions you make flex the story.
I'm fine with games that do that. I mean, I play a lot of RPGs. That's a big part of it, is the decisions you make.
Yeah, Telltale.
But 30-minute cutscenes.
Looks over at Metal Gear Solid 4, fucking 45-minute endgame cutscene. Yeah.
I'm just gonna go make a sandwich. I got something else to do.
No, well, to be fair, that 45-minute cutscene, really good.
I mean, at least it's the end of the game.
Yeah.
One of the biggest complaints I had about Uncharted 4 was the fact that I played the game for 2 hours and only actually played the game for 30 minutes. I mean,
that one I don't really have much of an opinion on.
I don't think it's a bad game by any means, because what I did play was great. It's just I wanted to play the game, not watch the game.
You're right.
If I don't watch the game, I'm going to put a YouTuber on. I'm going to watch some Twitch. I'm going to do something like that. Yeah. I want to be able to play the game.
Yeah, more action, less dilly-dallying. Like, I think there's a couple games that does that right. Like Wildlands. Wildlands does cutscenes right, where it's like 45 seconds of us bringing in one of the cartel members. We have a brief conversation. A really good quip. I love the writers of that game, by the way. The writers of that game do goddamn good work. They say something intimidating or flexible to make the person talk, and then boom, we're right back out there, on to the next. And I just want more fluidity between in-game, cutscene, back to game.
Yeah. Or like with what like Resident Evil or Spider-Man did, where a lot of it is happening while you're doing stuff.
Oh yeah.
With Spider-Man, he's having the conversations with people while you're swinging through the city and stuff like that. As long as you don't trigger a mission, it won't get cut off. One of the great things they did with that game is if you're sitting there and you start the conversation, he talks normal. But the voice actor recorded 2 of each set of dialogue, for one where he's stationary and one when he's swinging, so he's more stressed as he's talking.
Oh.
Brilliant, amazing, loved it. And that's how I feel like game storytelling should be done. Is that it should be done while I'm doing something as much as possible. I mean, Spider-Man still has its cutscenes,
of course.
And Resident Evil still had its cutscenes, not nearly as many.
Oh no,
because I mean, cutscenes aren't very big for that game.
I think the longest cutscene was when Leon met Marv at the very beginning.
Probably, yeah.
That would probably be the longest cutscene.
Yeah. I mean, even in The Witcher, its cutscenes are pretty decent. I think the one cutscene that was killing me was when you leave the first town, Witcher 3, that is. When you leave the first town, spoilers, after meeting up with the person you're looking for. And you end up on this like forever and a day cutscene because it's got to like be all dramatic and everything. But then it gets you back into the game, and it does a lot of storytelling through you doing stuff. I mean, you're finding out information about the king that you're there to see while you're getting changed, and then you're given information as you're walking to his quarters or whatever.
That's fine and fair.
Yeah, that's how I feel it should be done. One other thing I wanted to talk about was I'm spacing on it now. a former Bungie developer made a Destiny like fighting game. They called it Destiny Turbo. It was a fun thing they did because apparently Bungie does this thing every year where they call it Carnival Week, where they tell everyone put your projects on hold, and you're going to work with people from anywhere in Bungie, and you're going to create what you want to create. And so he made a Destiny fighting game, which I think is really interesting. I think it's a really good way to handle that company, give everyone a break from the stress of the deadlines and making this game work and whatnot. And also, it can be very good for getting creative juices flowing and possibly introduce something new.
Yeah, you never know. We might actually get the next big fighter out of Bungie.
It might be weird. I don't know if I want that.
I don't know. There's a lot of games that were coming out way back when that were called very strange. I mean, look at Mortal Kombat. They didn't want it in arcades because of its gratuitous violence, but look at it now.
Yeah, but I did play Mortal Kombat 10, so... That was another one with...
Point in case.
That was another one with those microtransactions, paying for easy fatalities that are not infinite use. They're one-offs, two-offs, however many you buy. Like, come on, guys. What else did you have on your list?
I'm actually flapjacked on my list.
Well, there was the new Punisher statue.
Oh, the one that Maxim has?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it looks so good.
There's this new statue out. It runs what, like 400?
600.
600. And they put some serious detail into this. I mean, he's got smoke coming out of the guns that make the shape of the skull. It's definitely something I suggest for those statue collectors out there. I mean, I collect statues, and so do you, but we have to limit how many we do because space and the size of some of these statues.
And funding.
That too. I once saw what was claimed to be life size, and I feel like he was bigger than life size. Yoda statue. This thing, you put it in the center of a room, and like it would make my dining room table. It's insane.
Yeah.
I don't understand the people that are able to buy these things. Like, I want to see what your house looks like. Not because I'm against it. Like, if I could do it, I totally would. But like, where the hell are you putting it? But they do have a very nice new Punisher statue. There is a Birth and All one out as well that I really like that you've got.
Yes.
It's made to look like John, and it's kind of scary how much it looks like him. And they did it for the Netflix series, which, you know, yet again, the marketing that show was able to do, that no longer matters, it seems. Captain Marvel is supposedly gonna really make us nostalgic for the 90s, so I'm looking forward to that. It complete with a scene inside of a blockbuster. And then we've got
yeah, I'm looking. I don't see very much else. Like, I think that might actually do it for a short one if we're honestly doing a short one.
Actually, I've got something that's gonna set you off a little bit. Or at least it sets me off.
Okay.
We've finally got a release date for Space Jam 2. Or an estimated release date, 2021.
Is it LeBron James?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm not gonna get set off. I'm open-minded just so long as they realize that I'm not too keen of a fan.
Okay, so I'm a huge Looney Tunes fan. And I was a huge Space Jam fan. But take all that out. The hell is this movie going to be about? The aliens come back and try again despite everything being copacetic at the end?
I don't know. There's got to be a good plot. But at the same time, I'm thinking it's going to be Looney Tunes back in action.
I mean, I feel like the Looney Tunes have just been destroyed by Warner Brothers over the last couple of years. I mean, they've released 2 very bad cartoons, as far as I'm concerned. Back in Action had its good moments, had its terrible moments. And I mean, this is a company that this was their shit back in the day. My nostalgia is if anyone can send me images of Warner Brothers stores back before they closed down. I loved Warner Brothers stores. I would go when I was a kid. Absolutely loved them. Went all the time. I remember the old days of the WB before it became the CW, with Mr. J. Frog being the between commercials and stuff like that. And now this company's just kind of ran them all into the ground with weird artwork, bad jokes that don't connect, and recreating characters in weird ways. One of the Looney Tunes shows had Gossamer, the big red monster, the hairy thing. Yeah. He had a baby's voice. And like followed people around like an infant, and wasn't really a monster anymore. It was weird. I don't get...
Like, the first introduction of him was him going...
Yeah, he was a monster that was released by a mad scientist to chase down Bugs Bunny so that he could do experiments on bugs.
Yeah.
I'm just scared as to where Warner Bros. Is going with some iconic characters.
Looks over at Batman.
Well, I mean, we won't talk about the DCU anymore.
You're right.
There's a new Harry Potter ride for all you Potterheads coming to the Orlando one, I think this summer. You'll be able to ride on Hagrid's motorcycle. So that's one thing that Warner Brothers is probably doing it the right way, because that is Warner Brothers properties. It's just being done at Universal Studios. So, I mean, it's a company that kind of knows what it's doing, and then other sections of it, I feel like they put their head up their ass.
Yeah, I can see that being the major issue.
I mean, I heard Aquaman was amazing, but I still have to look over at Suicide Squad and Batman vs. Superman and Man of Steel.
Exactly. That's the reason why I didn't see Wonder Woman or Aquaman. Like, that was where I was, like, leaning back and saying, ugh.
I remember the last thing on your list. Jump Force.
Okay. All right. As a fighting game aficionado, I delved a little bit deep. I watched a few Twitch streamers play it. They even had the same complaints I did. It felt like a taxing game. It felt like it was very repetitive, etc., etc. I'm like, well, that's a fighting game, so I don't really understand. No, it is actually just a button mash for square, 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 that sort of thing. And then on the up and enclosed, it had bad subtitling.
See, you were explaining this to me, and the problem is I like anime, but I'm still relatively new to anime.
Yeah.
So, you were talking about JoJo characters, right?
Yes. There was a confrontation between Dio and Jotaro. Part 3, Stardust Crusaders. Iconic. If you ever get into JoJo, they are the iconic duo, rivals. And then you got Dio who is saying, oh, you're approaching me. And then Jotaro goes, yes, so I can beat the shit out of you. And then Dio goes, oh. And then, he's exclaiming, and then they do their signature clashing of muda muda mudas and aura aura auras. And the entire thing in the US release is incorrectly subtitled.
Now, and this brought up my issue with a few things is I said, why isn't the game just dubbed?
And to which I have to reply with, it's a game that is supposed to be Japanese. It is made in Japan. It is supposed to be Japanese oriented.
Which is fine, so then we have it subbed. But if we're going to have it subbed, why is the work not being put in? Why are we releasing this quality? And it brings me back to, like, what are the game companies doing these days? You also mentioned the Tokyo Ghoul character.
Oh yeah, where they were like 100% wrong. They weren't even remotely correct. It was incoherent at best. Like the sentence structure, even in English, didn't make sense.
And I mean, you get a lot of English when it comes to things like that.
I find it enduring.
All your base belong to us.
Yeah, and that's enduring, and that's fine because you got Grandpa Joseph in JoJo. He says English lines like "Oh my God," it's great. Those are good.
But I look over at Street Fighter, who has been doing dubbed for how long and doesn't have this issue. Like,
you're getting a halfway shrug from me because Street Fighter Alpha has Japanese voice actors doing American lines,
which is weird.
So
I feel like they didn't want to take the work from them. But
by the way, best soundtrack out of any fighting game ever, aside from Killer Instinct. Tell you what,
I just like the combo breakers from Killer Instinct, so that's what I go for. I don't even notice the soundtrack because I'm too busy to listen to that combo breaker.
Yeah.
And I think my last thing is Free Comic Book Day is coming up.
Yeah. I saw one of the comic book covers. It was Carnage.
Yeah, actually, I have it right here. It's for the Amazing Spider-Man cover. It's a very large Carnage, looking like he's climbing over like Earth or something, maybe taking over Earth from space almost. And then in the corner, you've got the spiders. Miles poking Peter in the chest. It looks like.
And so we're getting a freebie from the Spider-Verse.
Yeah. I mean, Free Comic Book Day is a great way to see what's coming out for the year. that the companies care about, because they're not going to show you everything that's coming out.
No.
But they're going to show you what they have faith in.
And sometimes they show you just episode zeros of things, so that way you can be like, ooh, I can get into this, or, oh, hey, this looks interesting. I'll start looking into it.
Or even so, I think it was last year, maybe the year before, they did Nightmare Before Christmas manga. And they basically did like a little quick like telling of the story, like a really tiny thing, but to be like, this is what we're doing. We're just going to do it in a bigger form.
Okay.
And I was like, that's kind of cool. And
Yeah.
it's an interesting property to take into manga. I kind of like finally seeing some American stuff going into manga form rather than just watching manga come into comic book form all the time.
Yeah.
So, Free Comic Book Day is fun. Every local comic shop should do it. I suggest people go out and try it if you want to see what kind of comics you want to be into. If you're not a comic book reader, this is a great stepping point to get in.
Or if you just want to have something for a small time collection, because some people actually just straight up collect Free Comic Book Day comics, and that's it.
I've got a couple piles of Free Comic Book Day comics. Actually, I got a short box in the closet that's nothing but Free Comic Book Day ones, just because I'm not going to throw them out after I read them. But they're not worth anything. I mean, might as well put them in the box.
They're worth 50 cents outside of Free Comic Book Day.
Yeah, if that.
If that.
Every now and then you get the one box that didn't deliver very well. You get the scary looking comics.
You get the oopsie doopsied.
But there's also an Avengers that's going to be hitting. And it's very much trying to promote some of the movie stuff. But what I find interesting about this cover is you've got Iron Man, you've got Cap, you've got Thor. Okay, the normals. But then you've got Black Panther. He's an Avenger. That's fine. You got She-Hulk. Cool. Captain Marvel, obviously because of the movie. Blade. Now that's where I went, wait, whoa. There's a face we haven't seen in a while.
He was the first black superhero that everyone says isn't the first black superhero. I mean, you got Steel, but I'm talking Marvel.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Shaft was pretty awesome. Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, I know, but was he Marvel?
Oh, no, he's not even a comic book.
So why are you doing this to me?
No, I don't even know what Marvel's first black superhero would be.
I would say Blade. It's Blade. I think it is Blade.
Luke Cage, maybe.
But,
I mean, that Blade was early on because he was Tomb of Dracula.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure on the timeline. I'd have to do some research.
Even still, I'm gonna say as far as like movie and otherwise theatrical releases.
Yeah, I would say
that isn't comic
film wise. I think comic book wise, film wise, the first black character they probably released was probably Blade. I'm trying to think of who DC's done. The Cyborg recently happened. Before that, what? Lucian Fox, maybe?
Well, I think. What is Steel?
Steel's never had a movie.
Steel had one.
Oh, you're talking the Shaq movie.
There you go.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, yeah.
Go.
I think DC technically owns that. I completely forgot that existed.
Yeah. I want to say there's another one, but it's not jarring, but I'm not gonna go digging. I really don't want to.
You reminded me of a recent meme I saw that I'm loving, and it's the Drake meme where he's like, no, not that, and then that. Okay, except this one goes, nah, it's showing Will Smith's genie. He's like, I want the real genie, and then it shows Robin Williams' genie, and it's still, no, I want the real genie, and then it shows Shazam, or not? Is it Shazam? No,
I am Kazam.
Whatever Shaq's was. Yeah. And then he goes, all right, that's it. I'm like, no. But that Steel's like in the back of my mind. I'm remembering that movie now.
Yeah.
Here's one that'll mess you up. I think we've talked about it before. There was a Nick Fury movie with Hasselhoff.
Yeah, white.
Yeah. It was.
And the eye patch.
Weird. Yeah, it was eye patch and everything. It was a weird movie. He was like living in a cave at the beginning of the movie. And,
I remember this.
Shield came to get him, and he's like, "I knew you'd come for me."
How dare you?
It was in that era of cheaply, badly made superhero movies. Kind of in the era of Judge Dredd. I am the law. Do you remember the Lou Ferrigno Hulk?
Vaguely, yes.
There was a TV movie done. It was the trial of the Incredible Hulk, and it was actually the first Daredevil we got. Matt Murdock takes up the case.
Oh.
Yeah, that's another one for you for the early stuff, or the Captain America that wore the motorcycle helmet with the wings on the side. There are some pretty scary looking early superhero stuff.
Wow.
The Spider-Man that's a bit more orange than he is red.
And it has the camera turned sideways, so it looks like he's going up the wall.
The web that straight up is just rope.
Okay.
I mean, don't get me wrong. This is also, we had Batman 66, but that kind of has a cherished place in my heart. I've got the whole set. That's something I absolutely love the cheesiness of. It's smiley Batman. Everyone needs smiley Batman every now and then. We don't always need dark and brooding. But that's pretty much what we cared about today with nerd stuff.
Yeah, a bit of a short episode because not a lot's going on that's positive and a lot of negative stuff.
It's winter. Everyone's staying indoors.
Yeah.
We're all cold and just trying to stay warm.
And then the thing about Gearbox is a little still muddled. I do want to talk about it one day, but I'm just, as said, not a lot of information is getting talked about to us. And that's a huge thing that I don't want to come off as saying that, these allegations are true. These allegations are false. A what-if scenario. Gearbox seems to be hitting this on the head, and I don't think it's going to survive whether or not, even if it does shake this off, I don't think it's going to survive. That is all I can see from the foreseeable future, but I don't know how it's actually going to play out.
I feel like we're in a world where trying to do something like that may never work again. I think...
It's bad allegations, too. It's not just one or two things. It's like a mountain of things.
Yeah.
And then a USB drive filled with questionable things and this, that, and the other. I'm not going to say any more than that because, as said, I don't really want to touch heavy on it.
Yeah. I mean, with some fun news in technology is Roku finally hit 24 million users.
Good on them. That is a lot of fucking users.
Yeah, I mean, when your competition is Amazon Fire, Google Chrome, and Apple TV, I think you're doing pretty good at that point. And one last Pokemon thing I forgot to mention. To celebrate Pokemon like they do every year, 3-month-long anime stream that they're doing.
On Twitch?
Yeah, I think it's on Twitch. I was like, oh, that's a lot of Pokemon. I'm assuming they're going to throw in the movies too then, if it's going to be 3 months long.
And then they're going to do another, after that, I think they're doing Twitch Plays Pokemon again.
That's
for one of the updated ones.
That's cool.
So yeah, good on them. All right.
I want to see them do that for like a charity though.
I mean, they did Dark Souls for fuck's sakes.
Yeah, true.
And I think it was for charity. I think the subs and donations were sent to charity because everything was just done through one computer and internet access.
No, I mean, it doesn't take much, so.
No.
But that's what we have for you guys this week.
Oh.
We'll be back with more coffees, teas, maybe a hot cocoa or two.
Yeah, I might do hot cocoa next week.
If it stays cold like this.
Fuck's sakes.
All right, thanks, guys.
That credit card!